You know, Pooch ain't used to being on the ones and twos, man. So, I'm in here to laugh. What's going on, laugh? Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Change Your Lives. I'm your host, Deonte Burden. We got an awesome show playing for you guys tonight. I'm working the boards tonight. My brother, DJ Lab, he's at the studio. He's a little under the weather, so I decided to work the boards today in my own little funny ass way. But we got a great show for you, playing for you guys tonight. Tonight, we're talking about, it's concerning the T.I. 50 Cent recent things been going on. And you guys know, laughing at me, working the ones and twos. But I'm pretty sure if you've seen some of the back and forth we're going on. We'll talk about that in a second. But probably the thing that hit me the most was I'm very, very funny, especially being a youth mentor, being conscious of things that we do as black men out in the public, right? So I want to have that discussion tonight. So tonight show we're talking about, when is it okay for men to handle disputes in public? Again, tonight show we're talking about, when is it okay for men to handle disputes in public? I'm not, I don't have the call in number. So you guys feel, please make sure that you're leaving your comments in the chat. And I want to be very interactive with it, because again, this is a subject that's near and dear to me, not about men going back and forth talking about each other, but more so being a youth mentor and having these conversations with young men, especially with the show we had the other week about crashing out and some of the causes about it, and a lot of this BS that we're seeing over the past couple of weeks with this can lead up to a lot of that. But before we get started, I want to say what's up to my awesome producer, DJ Lab.
What's going on, brother?
What's happening, brother?
Thursday. Another rainy Thursday, huh?
Lab on a damn 30-second delay. What's up, man? Can you hear me, Lab?
I can hear you fine. Am I on the delay? Am I on the delay?
What's happening? What is it? Yeah, it's a delay, man. It's a delay.
I don't know. I see you moving fine. You
yeah, and it's kind of.
Hold on, let me see something.
Yeah,
let me work.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a second or two off. And while you working that out, we're gonna, I'm still be running with everything, but yeah, it's kind of like a second or two delay.
Is this
with everything?
Is this better?
Can you hear me fine, bro?
Oh, it's still delayed. Hold on.
Yeah, it's kind of like I broke up a little choppy.
Okay.
Because I just heard you say, hold on.
What?
And the guy, again, everyone, tonight's show we're talking about, is it okay for men to handle disputes in public, concerning the 50 Cent T.I. dilemma that's been going on past couple weeks. Can you hear me fine now, Lab?
I can hear you. Can you
hear me, Lab?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Okay, cool. We're going to roll with it, man. We're going to roll. Okay, cool. We ain't going to major in the minor. The thing, and I also want to give you a shout out. Okay, cool. How you feeling, man?
I'm good. Okay. How about
breaking up, Lab? It's breaking up.
Come on.
Hey, why don't we do this? I'm gonna log you out. I'm gonna get you out, then come back in.
All right, do that.
Want to try that?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
You heard me, Lab?
Yeah. Yes. Can you see me? Yes, I hear you.
All right. Okay. All right, Lab. Come on back in. Hit the invite thing again so we can get you back in here, Lab. So we can bring the over, Lab. Come back in. With everything. Hit the link to come back in. Again, guys, tonight show we're talking about should men. There we go. Oh, yeah.
How about now?
Boy, you in there. Hey, you the man one always telling me cut stuff off and cut it back on. Shit.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that in the middle of the show because I was thinking, well, just cut it off and cut it back on, but I didn't want to do that in the middle of the show.
The young girl say wham whammy. There you go. Come on now.
There we go.
Hey, we're good to go, man. But listen, man, we got an awesome show planned for you guys tonight. What's up, Lab? You feeling good, man?
No, I'm not. I'm feeling terrible, but okay, I'm gonna make it through.
That's why I got away from you.
I got rid of the fever, but I still got the sniffling and the coughing and stuff. But we're gonna make it through the show, man. I haven't done any shows this week. I've been getting progressively better, but Monday, Tuesday, I was in bad shape. So I'm better now. You done froze up again. I think it's on your end. Think you got a cheap internet connection. Yeah, you done froze up again. It's still ticking. You done froze. I don't think they're gonna let us get through this one today. We are having technical difficulties. Tech, 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 technical difficulties. Well, anyway, today's show is when is it okay for men to handle disputes in public? And we're gonna get into it because I think there's a lot of reasons why men shouldn't handle disputes in public, but I also think there's a lot of reasons why they should. Hmm. Anyway, maybe I need to log out.
Hey man, I ain't got all that high tech equipment you got at your place. I gotta
Ah,
kick this damn thing to the side. Damn, Wi-Fi went out. On the hell going on? Probably I'm in my, I'm in my sunroom on the other side of the crib, man. And
uh-huh. You done shut down again. You shut down again. You
now,
freezing again. Okay, now it's better. It just froze, but now it came back. Okay,
okay, shit, it should be good for a little bit. We're gonna keep our fingers
okay,
crossed.
okay.
I'm on the other side of the crib, man. I got my board and stuff in here, man. I hate that, but I got to find some way to kind of maybe even boost the signal. But tonight's show we're talking about should men handle disputes in public? Kind of stem from the situation with the 50 Cent and Ti situation. And the reason why I want to have this conversation, man, and man, glad you're doing okay. And what's up, Slick? I want to get to talking. I want shit to stop for a second. My boy,
uh-uh. You are
man, we're
froze
gonna keep our
again.
fingers crossed with this thing tonight, man. What's going on?
You just froze again. You got that cheap Wi-Fi. You got to get better Wi-Fi.
Can you hear me later?
I can hear you.
Mm.
What you? I can hear you. Can't hear me.
Can you see me?
It's on your. I can see you too, but it's
That's
on your
bullshit.
end.
Well, I tell you. Yeah, I can hear you fine, man. I can hear you fine. I apologize to everybody. No shit. Yeah, I know it's on mine. I don't know why it's locking up again. Yeah, I mean, I'm about 150%. Hold on one second, man. Hold on one second. Let me stop and make sure. Let me do something right quick. Hold on one second.
Mm. We dancing through this one, everybody. If y'all can hear me, we trying to work it out. I think it's that cheap Wi-Fi he got over there. He need to upgrade his Wi-Fi to fiber optics or something instead of that old cable, coaxial cable. I think something new and fresh, not the old standard of internet service. He done logged out again.
I think I got it fixed, lab.
Yeah.
I had to go get a whole another damn Wi-Fi card.
Oh, okay,
One that was a little
okay,
stronger. We in the game
okay,
now though, man. We good to go.
okay,
And
okay.
I want to have this conversation, guys. Yeah, I can see it. Rick, I see you. Yes, we can see this. So we good now. I had to get a different Wi-Fi card. Um, the reason why I want to have this show, I had this show really, guys, because you guys know I'm a youth mentor and I'm out there in the community a lot. Um, and even with the show we did a couple weeks ago, we talked about crashing out. And the reason why I want to have this discussion because you got two very, very popular, influential black men handling the dispute. And we'll get into the ins and outs and stuff like that about it. And we talk so much about crashing out, decision making, conflict resolution, especially with young black men. And to see this, what I think is BS in public,
Hmm.
I got a big problem with it. So I want to have that conversation with everybody. Me and my partner, Pate put on this is a cricket situation question. Depends on the situation. And me and Pate rapped about this before. And my whole thing of it is that, and when we start having these kind of conversations about, it's all everybody's uh, matter of opinion. Um, I don't like it because I always feel like men should be able to handle things in a much better way. I always
Mm,
feel that way, and everything. We got my man Chris Pounder Edwards says when it's beneficial to the public to alert the public where you stand, what will and will not be tolerated to the extent you defend your position. Right? That's what my brother got here. Rika got that. The lab, I'm gonna let you go first. And when we start talking about this, as far as me, because the situation I know it starts still be. Let's get a little background information, and I don't want to get into the what ifs or what I think, but just what I know. If it's something
hmm.
I know, if it's something I don't mention it, whatever, feel free to chime in. I know they had the dispute of the versus battle. Then you had back
Hmm.
and forth dialogue with that. I know 50 had put a, a picture of T.I.'s wife, up and everything. The one the most tasteful picture. And then they went back and forth and started putting pictures up, Beyonce mama, and just cut those shit. And T.I.'s son
Right,
responded back. Um, the exchange of the words, I ain't finna go into all that, but it's just more so
right,
looking at what's going on in the public.
right.
And my problem with everything is because I don't think it should be handled that way. Right. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you rap first, and I go lab, and then we'll go from there, man. So give me your take on the situation. Again, we're talking about when is it okay for men to handle disputes in public. And guys, feel free to leave comments on there. I definitely want everybody to be as engaged as possible with this show because I think it's a good conversation because I do think this is an issue with a lot of black men. We're not
Hmm.
gonna get into. I mean, with women, I don't mean to sound funny, ladies. Y'all excuse me. Y'all kind of catty by nature, right? So, well, you,
There
but you
you
women,
go.
so at the end of the day, you rather see some damn women arguing about some shit or see some damn men arguing about some stuff. Well, whatever. So give me your take on the lab.
Well, when it comes to Ti and 50 Cents, they have a higher standard to live by because they kind of are role models when it comes to certain things. I know a lot of artists and sports figures say that they are not role models, but by default they are. So that in itself should lead you to make better decisions when it comes to certain things. I don't know. I for me, I think there's certain times when you do um handle disputes in public, but they're very rare. Um, when it's when you just know that that person is not going to back down from you, or not going to back down on how they feel about certain things, then you may have to defend yourself or defend your children or even your significant other, your spouse or whatever, in public, because you're not going to let them just do anything to when it comes to family. So that's that's one scenario where in public would be, you know, beneficial to let people know that, hey, we not this is not going to happen. This is not going to go on, because sometimes if you let people keep doing things to you or saying certain things to you, they feel like they can continue to do that. And sometimes you have to nip that stuff in the bud early in order to keep it from being a problem later on. Um, Me, I prefer to try to handle things privately. In public, it just shows a lack of emotional stability, a lack of, being able to handle your emotions and talk to people in an adult manner. 50 Cent is from what I understand, allegedly is an internet troll anyway. He goes on people's pages and do certain things and says certain stuff about people, which in itself is kind of asinine to me, especially when you have so much money, you have so many other things going on, you have time to do this. And put someone's right, lack of self-control. Shannon Turner says lack of self-control. You're exactly right. And putting someone's wife on, on your social media as a part of the dispute, I think crosses the line. Because if me and you are having a dispute that's a public dispute online, and our wives or our spouses or our children have nothing to do with that dispute, but then you go and bring them into the dispute, that becomes a whole different conversation, because now you cross the line into maybe even danger in my family. So now I gotta really, handle this, because I'm just not gonna let anything happen. Me and you can talk and battle and discuss things all day long online if that's what you want. But once you put my children in the picture, once you put my wife or my significant other in the mix, then we have a whole other conversation. And sometimes those conversations don't go well. Uh, I just don't think if I'm having a conversation or argument with you, that you should bring my family into it if they're not a part of it. That's just my opinion. I mean, people may feel differently about it. Other people may feel differently. I think that once that happens, that's when the line gets crossed. James Pace said, wasn't that a picture that was already on social media? Yeah, but I think the implication is that once he puts the picture on his page, he is implying something. So I haven't kept up with the beef that they have going on. So I don't know exactly what was said under the description of the picture or what was implied by the picture. But I know that I'm having a dispute with Poochie. He's having a dispute with me on social media. Then I go and put up one of his children. The implications of that be damned. Now he has a problem with me really bad because I did put one of his children in our dispute. That I'm just saying it sometimes it goes without interpretation. If me and him are having a issue or having a argument, and then I put up one of his children, the picture be damned. You're implying something by putting that picture up, because if it wasn't up there before, it's up there now, then it's a problem. So I get what you're saying, Pay, that it's just a picture, but eh, if it wasn't on his page previously, and now me and him are arguing, then he puts it up, it's implying something to me anyway. What you think about that, Pooch?
My ignorant ass trying to find the damn picture. I was trying to find the damn picture. Well, this is my whole take on it. The issue is, to me, not addressing, is how you address it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm,
So the
mhm,
reason why, and what I mean by that is, if you know, if something like that happened, like you said several times, we need to have a conversation.
mhm.
Me and you having a conversation is not on the World Wide Web.
Right, right.
So when you go back and forth with all kind of stuff, well, look, you posted this, I'm gonna post that. That little boy shit. That's
Mhm,
female shit. So I'm gonna if there's an issue, I'm gonna reach out to you. And I know these men have access to each other, right? Just to be able to do that. And at the end of the day, because here's the deal, like you just said, the man a troll. he can always go lower than you, right? You can always
Hmm.
do like, hey man, this, that, and that. Because if you did respect my woman and I'm address it, I'm not gonna address it by making a damn song. I'm just saying to
Hmm.
you, like that's not addressing. I mean, at some point we got to grow up because, like I said, I deal with too many young men that all the time. We
Hmm.
teach them about avoiding conflicts, things like that. If somebody's ignorant, you can't go back and forth with them because you're gonna go low with your response, and they're gonna go lower, and then you're gonna go low, and then they're gonna go like hell, and you cannot compete with hell because they're gonna say something so foul, so messed up, and now back and forth you're looking at these brothers like, what the hell going on, man? Shannon Turner said he
Hmm.
crossed the path with the picture once he did all that, all best off his wartime. He made it public. We'll finish it the same way, and that's coming from a female. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just joking, but I'm just saying that at the end of the day, when we start doing those kind of things, we gotta be conscious. It's not that you. It's not. I'm not tripping about the response. It's how the response was made. We going
But
back and forth in public with that. People ain't got to hear me say shit back to you. It's just my
hmm
opinion. Now, you did that. I can address it. I don't have to go back and forth in public because what's happening is you going back and forth in public with somebody that don't care. And if you want to sit here and and if you don't care, you don't care. But I'm just talking with these younger people, they see it. And those guys are way more influential than me. They have a
hmm
way captive audience than I do. And so we tell young people, hey man, y'all man, let that shit go, let that go, let that go. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I say it all the time. You ain't always gonna be in a position to turn the other cheek. You're not always gonna be
Yeah.
in a position to turn the other cheek. But listen, try your best. Try your best to avoid situation. Somebody say something ignorant or whatever. Hey, bro, look, we need, whatever. Because I do think before we got to the pictures and all that, there were several times, man, the dude's scared of me. They don't want to do this, that, and that. I thought it was a good interview. Yeah, I forgot. This is before like the pictures came out. T.I. did an interview. He said, hey, me and him talked over a year ago. And Paper told me the other day. He said, we talked over a year ago about doing it. Then he said, we brought it up, dude flipping. I don't want to do at that point. Ain't no more conversating. I'm done with it. We ain't even
Hmm.
gonna talk no more because I don't trust you. I don't F with you. And
Hmm.
that's me. So I'm not gonna get to the point back and forth, but man, he a lot. We're not gonna keep jabbing, jabbing, jabbing. If I don't deal with you, I'm not dealing with you. We ain't talking no damn more. Right?
Right. Right.
When we start dealing with people that, like you say, actually they don't care, you can't do that with them because what'll happen is you'll change yourself trying to compete. For people that don't even give a damn about you, everybody get entertained. Oh, here he go. Oh, here he go.
But
We talking about older men.
but
I can
you know
handle
that
that. Yeah, I'm listening to you, lad.
that that goes to a bigger problem of not wanting to look like a punk in public, not wanting to look weak in public. So we have that issue. That's stemming from a big issue, especially when you have these guys who, claim that they come from the streets and stuff. They kind of have that street mentality that you don't want to look weak in public. You don't want to look, and social media is real public. So I think that stems from a bigger problem that once you say something to me in public, it is up to me to answer you in public. I'm not, that's just the mindset. I'm not going to, if you made the thread or you made whatever made public, then the response is going to be public and the apology needs to be public. I guess that's what they're saying. A lot of people don't have that emotional, that emotional stability to understand that just because we arguing in public or just because somebody says something in public, you not saying nothing back doesn't necessarily mean that you're weak. It also it just it, I think it makes them feel like if I don't say nothing back, people gonna think I'm weak. It all goes with staying with that mentality of you know my reputation is at stake. So I think that has a lot to do with them arguing back and forth in public because they each have this kind of street persona and street reputation. And if they don't say nothing back in public, people may feel that their reputation or whatever it's not valid. I guess I don't know.
Okay. Well, let me get this comment. Trivia Red Velvet Thomas said, in my opinion, it's never okay for a grown ass man to settle a dispute in public. I agree with you, Lab. Lab in the fan club, boy. I tell you. Well, let me say this. Let me ask you this question, Lab. With all that said, do you think those were street responses?
I believe
I'm
I,
about
I
there wasn't no damn street responses. I don't know
I
no
don't
street that's gonna be back and forth making videos and songs. I don't think there were street responses.
I think I don't think that the necessary response was street, but I think the need to respond was a street type of mentality. I think the need to respond in public was a street type of mentality. It all goes back to not seeming weak. I don't know. I haven't seen the responses. Like I haven't kept up with it because you know I've been sick and I don't really follow celebrities on social media. But my thing is that the response may not have been street, but the need to respond necessary. Is definitely a street mentality. It's just what it is. I can't think of any other reason, especially when you have that amount of money, you have that amount of influence, and you have those amount of businesses that can be affected by your response or you doing something in public that you would risk it all for, other than the fact that you don't want to seem weak. You tell me if you think there's something different. You tell me.
Hell yeah, immaturity. See, here's the
What?
deal, man. Now, because just because you're a street person, that don't mean you're immature. That don't mean you're
Mhm.
immature to be a street person. You just
Well, I'm
move a
talking
certain way.
about I'm talking about just those particular two. Now, when it comes to just us regular 9 to 5 guys, uh, I don't think there's any really reason for us to respond in public because I nobody for one, if I respond to you in public, nobody cares because nobody knows me and nobody knows you. But I'm
Well,
just saying there's better ways for us to conversate if we have an issue.
well, lab. Okay, just take the medium out out of the equation.
Right,
They're celebrities. They doing it on the internet. They can
right,
either
right.
be me and you at the park. Uh,
Hmm.
got. I mean, we began talking about the damn Falcons. Next thing you know, we cussing each other out because
Right,
I
right.
think Michael Penix better than Michael Vick, and now we call each
Okay.
other MFs, and now we can't. Typical park argument stuff, right? We done had a couple
Right,
drinks
right,
and
right.
everything. So take the meeting out of the equation, them being on the web, it happens. So I don't like I said, I don't even think that was about street shit. I thought it was just immaturity because at the end of the day, man, um, you defending your family or whatever, that's one thing. Like I said, that's a phone call. That's a
Right,
phone
right.
call. You getting out because I'm just thinking about, and I ain't trying to make this about people in particular. And the reason we have to have these conversations because we got too many young men that do impulsive shit
Hmm.
because they do not know how to use emotional intelligence. They don't know how to resolve conflict. And they don't know how to understand that. Listen, think big picture wise. Don't think
Hmm.
today. Think forever. 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And
Hmm.
that's one of the problems. And like I said again, these are older guys. They ain't no street shit.
Hmm.
Street shit. Nobody got to know about no street shit. You understand?
Right.
So
I
that's
get
why.
what you're saying, but okay, let's not talk about them too because I know this stems from them because I think the caliber of conversation, I think the conversation shifts when we bring them in, and when we're just talking about us in retrospect, me and you at the park arguing about Michael Vick or who's the best quarterback or running back or whatever, and we had a few drinks in the argument spurs over into other things. Those things in itself don't really need to happen because we argue about something that's irrelevant to our everyday. But I don't think a lot of people understand that it's okay to walk away. It's okay because once you get heated, I'm gonna get heated. You're gonna get heated more, I'm gonna get heated more. And sometimes you gotta say to yourself, and I don't think a lot of people know this or realize it. Sometimes you gotta say to myself, Pooch ain't even worth my time. Like, I'm not finna get into an argument with him over Michael Vick. Michael, it's just certain things that add to as fuel to the fire, especially when you out in public. You may have your wife sitting there and she looking at you like, "What you gonna do?" It's a lot of things that can play into that, and like Shannon said, disrespect is disrespect, and sometimes it does need to be handled on site. But hopefully, there's a way that we can figure a way around it because I'm 55.
That's the
I
same
don't
thing.
have this. I don't have the same reaction or the same. I'm not as fast as I used to be on my feet. So if we fighting, one of us is gonna be hurt. And it's probably gonna be me because my body. It's just a lot of things that play into this that we're not gonna be able to touch on in an hour. I just think that there's a lot of things that play into us arguing in public. It, that's just too many.
See what that said. Just take you said fighting. Four die. When you see
Yeah.
world leaders sit down at in chairs right beside each other, in essence, why they do that? Men talk because
Hmm.
men understand when men we
Hmm.
understand if there's a fight or something happens, people can die. That's why you see
Right.
world leaders sit down side by side to avoid those kind of wars and stuff like that. Because again, they understand the consequences of that. You
Hmm.
assuming you're gonna fight. Everybody ain't fighting at your hell. We're in a gun crazy damn country. Nobody ain't fighting no damn more. You know,
I get that, and I'm not
we,
saying necessarily fight, but I'm just saying the escalation of a situation to where somebody can die, or a fight breaks out
we,
is unnecessary in the grand scheme of things in life. It's just a lot of this stuff is not even worth the time, and I don't think a lot of people realize that.
well, see, that's the thing about it. Well, that's the thing about it. And that's why when we start talking about emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, and avoiding certain things, um, we as adults, the older we get in the grand scheme of things, you hope you've evolved to a point where you understand that I got to go to work today. I ain't gonna argue this dude. I got to go to work. I got to take care of my
Hmm.
kids. I got mortgage to pay. I got a car note to pay. This, like
Hmm.
you said, this MF ain't even worth it, right? Because he can care less after this stuff over. It's over. But what I do want to say, and again, guys, tonight's show we're talking about when is it okay for men to handle disputes in public? When is it okay for men to handle disputes in public? We stream it live on Facebook, YouTube. I had to go off to Instagram. The TikTok's not connected, and I apologize to everybody looking on TikTok as well because they can't hear your audio. And
Hmm.
guys, if you can go to Change the Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden on Facebook or YouTube, then you better hear it. So I apologize. I just went on and cut the Instagram off because I wasn't damn thinking. Um, the audio is connected, but I got 4 reasons why men handle disputes publicly, and kind of what Lab alluded to earlier. The first one just being ego and respect culture.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna let that slide. Feeling like silence is a weakness because I didn't address that, and that made me a point. That's the first one, just that ego and respect. I gotta say something. I got
Hmm.
respond, and you do not. The second one being that audience pressure. Y'all remember when we were younger, you and your buddy, y'all at that slap boxing and playing or whatever. And he
Hmm.
slipped, hit you a little harder. And what y'all heard? Ooh, that's your boy. He didn't mean
Right.
to. But now
Right.
you and your
Right.
partner, y'all tearing shit up because ooh came up.
Hmm.
And
Right.
he didn't mean to. He gave it look like my bad. You got to fight his ass. Y'all done knotted each other up and everything because you knew you let all this other stuff go into it. And just that social media cheering up. You got folks sitting there saying, you got to respond. You got to do this, that, and that. And people picking sides. People want to, just to push and push and push. And in all essence, you're really trying to entertain and do stuff for people who really don't give a fuck about you, right?
Right.
Can care
Right.
less, but they like the entertainment. So they push it and push it and push it. And you turn around and get yourself in a situation you need to be in, trying to impress people who don't give a damn about you anyway, right?
Hmm.
The third one being emotion reactivity, and that's responding instantly instead of strategically, just being
Hmm.
impulsive, not thinking. As men, we got to be able to sit here and just when things happen, sit back, process. If I do this, this can happen. If I don't do this, this can happen. If I do this, this may not. You look at it 5, 6 different ways. You got to think.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's what we have to do as men. We got to think, right? If we defending ourselves physically or from harm or from danger, it's one thing. Man, words can't do shit to you,
Hmm.
right? And you have to understand, just when people speak before they think, that's one of the worst things you do as a man because they just show
Hmm.
your intelligence level. Because
Yeah.
I have to look at the consequences, the things that can happen from a negative impact on me, my family, my career, my image, all that stuff had to come into play. So I gotta think first. And I'm not saying people aren't thinking because they might be thinking some stupid shit, right? I'm not
Hmm.
saying that. But when we start thinking about the causes of what will cause people to handle those abuse publicly, and the last one of the 4 is the lack of private resolution skills, and that's not knowing how to get Lab a call on the phone. Let me pick that phone up.
Hmm.
Hey, man, Lab number. Man, I heard Lab got a problem with something I said. Let me do
Hmm.
this that call. Let me
and that,
inbox them. Hey, bro, let's talk and everything. And people don't know how to have real conversations. Well, me and Lab talk. Lab said some shit I didn't like, but I'm gonna listen to him. He gonna get that off his chest, and I'm gonna be quiet. And then I'm gonna get the stuff off my chest. He gonna be quiet, and we as men can do what? Agree to disagree and
but
leave it
you,
alone. And I don't have to F with you no more. I ain't got to deal with you as men, but men, we handled it. I'm just see, Lab.
but one thing you said that probably would have solved the whole problem is you called Lab to see what Lab said. Apparently, Lab has a problem with something you did or said, and you may call Lab, and Lab might not even know what you're talking about because you may have gotten this information third hand. So that problem is solved because I'm say I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any problems with you. A lot of times people get into disputes because somebody told them what somebody has said about them, and now they upset. Like, this is not the first time we've dealt with this, emotional unintelligence in public. Chris Rock and Will Smith situation. That man didn't have to slap him in public like that on TV, but he chose to do so because he wanted to show to his wife that he wasn't weak. So there's a lot of things that happen that we don't think we don't count the 10. Like, it's messed up his whole career to me because he hasn't done any more movies since. So a lot of times we just don't take the time out to count the 10 and think about certain things. I'm gonna give you a good example. I'm gonna use me as an example. I am a petty person. I know this. I know this by nature. I'm a petty person. And when certain things happen or some people say stuff to me, I may respond back, but it's gonna always be, I guess, in a funny, petty way. But sometimes it can escalate, and then I have to say to myself, okay, let me cut this off. Like, it's been many times, uh, just on social media where people respond to you about certain things that you don't even know what they so upset about because this person don't know you, and you defending their honor for what? And and I'm petty, so I'm gonna respond back, and we're gonna keep going back and forth. At some point, I have to say to myself, okay, I'm done with this conversation and block that person because people are just people are so engrossed in what they think they know or who they think they know or who they think they have to protect that they're willing to crash out over something that has no bearing on their lives. Like, it doesn't have any bearing on their lives. And that's with anything. That's if it does have bearing on their life, they're really ready to crash out. Public displays of anger doesn't really serve anybody. A person who no uh has no respect for his life controls yours. So if a person doesn't care about his life, he damn sure controls yours because he doesn't care about yours either. So we have to really think about things like as to what people are going through in the day, what people are dealing with. Because some people get angry over you for nothing. I was driving on the road one day, this guy just kept coming right up to my bumper and like slamming on brakes. And so I got over in a lane. I rolled out. And I said, "Hey, why you keep like riding my bumper like this?" And he just automatically crashed out. Fuck you, mean? I said, "Bruh, pull over. Let's pull over then. Let's pull over." I said, "Bro, you don't want that. You don't want that. I don't care about nothing about no pistol." I said, "But you don't want that though. You don't want that." Now, had it been 5 years earlier, we would have pulled over. But I just don't I don't have time for those issues now. So it's just how people are. People, you don't know how people are going to respond to you, and you don't know how you necessarily going to respond to people until it happens.
Well, also, hell, you don't want that either because at the end of the day, we don't know what response folks gonna have. Me pulling
Right,
over on you pulling over on the side of the road to argue with somebody that ain't damn self defense. You had to shoot him and kill him because you went to the argument. So that's the kind of thing about it. Now we sitting here like, man, my ass will be at work. Now we sitting down on Rice Street trying to figure shit out. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right. But
And it ain't
it only takes a split second for that to happen, though. A lot of
absolutely.
times it's a split second decision.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why again we have to be very, very conscious of the things we do because, like I said before, man. In to your point, we have to. You're not privy to see in the future and know the reaction of your action. So,
Mm-hmm.
you might think someone want to fight. You might think someone will go back and forth. They may just crash out on you.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone, man. You got so much stuff going on in your life. I know me, man. I can give a damn. Now I got a
Do
temper
you?
just like everybody else. But I try my damnedest to avoid stuff. But what I ain't gonna be doing is put myself in a position to get riled up. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a firm believer. You're not always gonna be privy to turn the other cheek. But I'd be damned if I'm going back and forth with somebody. And another thing that you gotta be mindful of, even with stuff in public that I even mentioned it before, you're supporting cast. You a damn woman that sit here and just, yeah, I know you ain't gonna say shit. I gotta say something to him. And you sitting there like, come on now. We see that all the time. These damn brothers getting their ass shot by the damn police. Like, what do you want, officer? Hey
Right,
man,
right.
man, look. I don't even want to sit here and say what I want to say, but it'd be a lot of brothers walking around right now if they want to shut the hell up on the passenger side of the car when they try.
But that happens. I don't want to get into that. But let me ask you a question. We talk about these young brothers and them crashing out over certain things. We have to think about when we were younger. Do you think you had the emotional intelligence when you were 16, 17, 15 to understand and to walk away from certain things or not to be bothered with arguing with certain people at certain times? Do you think you had that emotional intelligence back then?
Somewhat, not all. Because
Hmm.
at the end of it is at the level where you at in life. Like if you're doing
Hmm.
something progressing and you understand, hey, I got to do this and got to do that. That's just like sometimes in high school, say if you got a game or something like that, and you argue, maybe you have an argument with somebody in class, you got a game, man, got time to argue with this person, or you got something to
Hmm.
do. But if you relatively, I think if depend on at that age where you at in life in regards to what you have, you know, going on. Some
Hmm.
kids just ain't got shit going on, so ain't no big deal, right? But if you
Hmm.
got things going on, certain considerations could come into play.
Hmm.
I'm never going to sit here and think that 16, 15, 16, 17-year-old has the same maturity as a older, a grown man. That's why it's so important we
Hmm.
talk to them. And it's so important why they have to listen to us. The
Hmm.
flip side of it is, like I know, I can say shit all day and night, but my behavior is what
Hmm.
right? My behavior. So I can say
Hmm.
and just talk to my kids all the time about, hey, son, think. But if I just move without thinking, what the fuck, my kids ain't stupid. Hey, dad, I'm saying this, that, and that. Hey, you moving a little different than what you always fussing at us about. So we got to be
Right.
very mindful of it. So no, I be lying to you, laugh. If I sit here and say, well, yeah, I thought like that, and I knew better and everything. No, but as things have come in my life, and I actually, grew up and stuff like that. Like I said, just playing sports, you might have a program and stuff. You mindful of, hey man, I done practiced, I done did this, that, and I ain't got time for that, dude. Because you do have
Hmm.
kids that go to school with you, they ain't trying to do shit, but start stuff. I
Right.
mean, that's the
Right.
reality. Fuck, I ain't gonna do,
Right.
I ain't gonna get into that. And they done damn grew to be ignorant ass folks still to do that. And I remember that. But at the
Right.
end of the day, why you gonna, cat come to you bucking with you about their girl, bucking with you about certain things you did because they may have things going on at home. They may be jealous, whatever it is. You got to sit there and choose, like, okay, how far I can go. Let me just leave that alone, right? And I know how
Hmm.
extremely, especially the younger you are, because you
Hmm.
have things like peer pressure and things like that. Um, I know how difficult that can be to try to avoid those particular things, but at all costs, we got to try to do that, right? Because
Yeah.
it ain't gonna benefit us to go back and forth. And it just kind of bothers me with those brothers because, like, man, they have such a following. And
Hmm.
when they do stuff, it's so much blind influence. I mean, even though just having this conversation tonight, I don't get into how people feel, they're right or wrong, but just the rainbow of comments and opinions that people got. You just see, like, man, people just, on site, you say something, I got to do this, knowing they have to go to work the next day, knowing they have to, take care of bills, knowing they got to do that. Why am I arguing with you?
Right.
Why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? And knowing I have responsibilities, why would I do that? Right?
Hmm.
And just now you're thinking about it later. You're in front of this judge. You telling this, you telling this person, well, I just made a mistake. I just did this, do that. I got to get an attorney. I got to hopefully keep my job. I got to get my car to impound. I got all these costs and all these things that come because I can walk away from this. You know what I'm saying? And we
Yeah, a
got
lot of times,
to
a lot of times people think that I got to get you before you get me. I mean, we live in a world that everybody seems to be angry now. Everybody's upset about something. Everybody's mad, and everybody thinks their opinion matters. So a lot of times, um, I got to get you before you get me, and I might not even be trying to get you, but you're gonna try to get me before I get you. So that stuff happens too. Um, I don't know how to get people to realize that the stuff that they make such a big deal probably ain't a big deal at all. It's just not a
Well,
big deal at all. You have to sit back and think about it and realize what's going on. Now, me, when I was a young, I gotta let this be said. I was such a player. I didn't really have, no issues with nobody. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to be with me. They ain't want to be against me. It's just
I,
how things went.
I got you. I got you. Well, for the rest of us normal people out here,
Right, 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 right.
we didn't have that kind of influence on people to do that. So,
Okay.
I'm glad you shared it about yourself
I
because,
just, I just thought I would let you know. I didn't, I ain't have to think about that kind of stuff because,
I, I,
I was
I got
blessed.
you. I feel you, brother. And as of then, as of now, you're still a super superlative, brother. So
Right,
I,
right, right.
I,
Appreciate you.
I, I,
Appreciate
I feel you on that. But with that said, guys, again, tonight show we're talking about when is it okay for men to handle disputes in public. When I do want to give you guys some things to recognize, you're about to, crash. I mean, not crash out, but just things are going a certain way. And you might want to be mindful of it. Because, like Lab just said, I don't know how we can make people think about it. I'm gonna give you a couple signals you need to look. Because I will say this to you guys: when people, just like what Shannon Turner just said, well, hey, let me, I hear certain things and I want to snap. When your first move is to go to Instagram or Facebook instead of calling that person, you done already lost.
you.
You done already lost. Everything does not deserve, because again, guys, we got a little big picture wise. Because that person doesn't care about your image. That person doesn't care about your career. That person doesn't care about the things you got going on. That person just cares about what? Getting you in a bad headspace, hurting your feeling,
Mm-hmm.
pissing you off. So when I respond to that with you, because when you use ignorance to respond to ignorance, you done lost because now you ain't in control no more. We in control when we think. We in control when we make decisions. We ain't in control when we just impulsively respond to stuff. And we have to
Mm-hmm.
be very, very mindful of that. Why? Because as adults, when we do it, our children do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All the time we act crazy, our kids act crazy. Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, if their the main thing that they see from a response standpoint is our behavior, we gotta be careful of that. I just want everybody to be mindful of that. Trying when I'm doing this stuff, like I be trying to get on my the little scrolling the banners and stuff, man. I can't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you doing it, Lab. Again, this is Change Your Life, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. I'm gonna give you guys a couple things to recognize, just to, when you're about to handle it the wrong way. And the first one is, this is what you need to look for, guys. You want to, when something bad happens to you, or you hear something, just to make you want to do something, you need to avoid it. If you want to respond to something immediately online, hey, look, step back and think. When you want to respond to something immediately online, step back and think about it. When you're more focused on being right than resolving it, think about it. Because here's the deal, Lab. And I want everybody to think about this. When we start talking about having discussions and talking, I'm going to go talk to this man. Lab sitting there. I didn't listen here, Lab. I didn't hear you say some shit. I didn't hear from somebody else. I seen the video you posted.
Oh,
I
okay,
heard your
okay.
ass say the shit, right? So here's
Mm-hmm.
the deal. When you want to have a discussion with somebody, let's just think about this. The root of that, I mean, the end of it doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, I'm right and you wrong. We just need to find some kind of resolution. And I think
Mm-hmm.
when people try to have conversations, they want to be right instead of having the
Mm-hmm.
problem resolved.
Mm-hmm.
The worst case scenario, like I said before, I ain't gotta fuck with you no more. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I ain't got to deal with you no more. And
Right.
that might be the best thing anyway, because if you're doing certain things that can kind of piss me off or damage my image or damage things that I got going on, I don't need to deal with you anyway.
Right.
So and that's kind of, again, I know how I am and I know how I was raised. We ain't got to go back and forth. Because I'm very, very funny about that, and I tell my kids, if somebody do something wrong to you, you address it. Don't address it with me. Talking to me about good as talking one of them damn trees out there in my yard. You go address it to that person. Now be prepared to hear some shit you don't like. That's what me and PJ was talking about that the other week. He said, Daddy, I always think about what you tell me. Make sure be prepared to hear some shit you don't like. He had to have a conversation with his supervisor. He said, Daddy, I was already mentally ready. Cause they may say some more ignorant, mean.
Right.
The thing you like, damn, hold on now. You going out, hey, I think you was wrong. And you said this, you said they like, no, I don't like your way. You is a this, you is a that. You need to be prepared for that. But again, guys, when we have conversation with people, it's not about always being right. It's about having the situation resolved. And the resolution may not necessarily come with a handshake. I'm sorry, we good. It might be, I don't put you no more, but we at least addressed it and it's resolved. Resolved means you're taken care of. And it doesn't, the taking care of doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a happy thing for both of us. And I think that's where maturity come back. It ain't that wrong with not dealing with somebody before, not dealing with somebody again. It ain't nothing wrong with not necessarily having the last word. And that's one thing, people say something, but you got to keep talking back. You ain't got to have the last word.
Right.
I just get my word out. You want to keep talking about it? I ain't dealing with you no more. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? The parents do the wrong stuff so kids to do is shown to be okay. Absolutely. Parents do things and kids, and because again, it becomes natural or common because I see my mom and daddy do it, I can do it. Keep arguing, and then when you see, it's unfortunate we see certain things. The parents go to the schools, they're arguing with the teachers, and the kid continue to argue with the teacher. See, this kind of authority come up. They see the mom and daddy doing it, they think that's okay. And you understand, when you raise your kids, you don't raise your kids for your house. You raise your kids for the world because your kids are to grow and live and interact in the world, right? So it's not about you're not raising them just them 18 years, or forever they're gonna stay in your house unless you just want to do it like that. But you raise your kids to go out there and interact and handle society.
Yeah, but
we avoid people, how to interact with people. That's what you raise your kids for, how to go out there and live in the world, not how to go and live in your house. What you about to say, brother?
I was going to say, but our kids do take on their own personality and their own emotional intelligence. I try to raise all my children to be respectful as possible, but I have a daughter who's not hearing it. Like she's a Hellcat. Like it's on site with her. It's just how she is. And so a lot of times we may raise our children and we may try to steer them the right way, but we also got to realize that they're going to become their own people. They're going to become their own person. They're going to have their own ways. They're going to be influenced by who they hang around, what they see, how they do things once they get older. And there's just nothing we can do about that.
Absolutely.
So, it's you can do your best to raise them properly and to make sure that they have emotional intelligence. Some have emotional intelligence and choose not to use it. So it's just one of those things.
I totally agree with you with that. I just and there is no guarantee that if we raise them a certain way that they're gonna follow suit with that. You're absolutely right with that, brother. But I do believe for the most part, if we drop 10 things on our kids, usually at least 5 to 6 they're gonna retain. Now, those 4 to 5 that they don't, some may be more impactful than others. So you're right about that. But that's why we got to keep dropping stuff on them with that. So you're absolutely right with that. Shannon Turner said, explain. How could you have handled a situation once the picture of your wife was posted, embarrassing at that? Oh, that's easy. I'm gonna call you. Let me what the hell? Because this is why, I'm gonna call you. If I want to put a cease and desist and do all this other kind of stuff, we're doing that. We can address it or how we want to do it. But at the end of the day, what the hell making a song gonna do? See, if we're gonna talk, we're gonna handle it. I'm gonna call you if I gotta go. If we're gonna, go meet or whatever, how we're gonna do that, we're gonna talk. But at the end of the day, like, there ain't nothing gonna come out of it. We're gonna keep, because now the video is posted. So now I'm gonna make a song. What's next? And I mean, the picture post. Now here comes the video. Then here comes the audio, and here comes all. The more and more and more you keep responding to someone that does not care, they're gonna go lower and lower and lower and lower. And you like, what the hell? She didn't tell you about the video. You knew about the picture. You didn't even know you made the video. So you don't necessarily know. You dealing with people that don't care. I didn't say not address it. It's how you address it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about it.
What was the video? I didn't even know it was a video.
I'm just speaking hypothetically. At the
Oh,
end, I'm
okay.
just telling you because at the end of the day, we can keep going back and forth with a person. You can't go back and forth with. That's just like when a man arguing with his woman. He gonna say, "Oh, you fat." She gonna say, "Oh, you got a little." And you like, "Whoa, whoa!" Here comes the little finger emoji. The baby eggplant, you know. Oh Lord!
Now that's it below the belt.
Oh Lord! She coming deep. She cut me deep. Then she put the
Right.
STD results. So I can't do it. So you can't go back and forth, right? I seen many a brother on Facebook try to do it. Yeah, I can't win, boy. You can't win, boy. The women, woo woo. And so those are kind of things. What I'm saying with that is, I'm not saying don't address anything. I'm just saying that at the end of the day is how you do it. You can't, the impulsive way ain't gonna win. Just straight up. It just ain't gonna win with doing that. And it just it does. And it makes, at the end of the day, it makes both people look bad. But when you're doing somebody that doesn't care about looking bad, you're really gonna have problems. Treating Red Velvet Thomas is people these days have a major lack of social skills and how to handle real life situations. Absolutely. That's why it's so critical. We try to talk to our youth to be able to handle that, because they don't get any kind of formal training at home on how to resolve things, how to deal with people and stuff like that. And it's not a knock on mom and daddy, because, to the point, mom and daddy never got it, right? But as we sit here, we're in a world now that things are more accessible for our children than we ever had. Our children can make a video now for the world to see. We never had that opportunity at that age. Our children now can email and text hundreds of people at one time. We never had those opportunities at that age, right? So they have access to people information and even exposure to themselves a whole lot more readily available than we ever had. With that said, you have to understand the power and the impact with it. And if your kids aren't prepared for that, it can be real, real detrimental, because in your mind, you sitting there slapping a dude at the party, but in reality, what you did was just assault on a video, right? He said something to me, but you can't put your hands on it. And we have to teach our children to be mindful of that. I'm listening to you, brother.
But with all that access that you just spoke of, there's one thing that has never changed, and it comes from us, from our parents to their parents. We know right and wrong. We know the difference between right and wrong. Even if you do hit somebody on video, you knew before you even took part in it that it may be a problem, but you chose to do it anyway. See, that's what I'm saying. We all know the difference between right and wrong. We all know the difference between, this may hurt somebody, or this may hurt us, or we all know it. We all have assessed the right and wrong before we done anything. It may have taken 5 seconds to do, but we all know the difference between right and wrong. That has not changed in centuries. Everybody knows in the millennia. Everybody knows the difference between right and wrong. So, in regards to how much access that our kids have to certain things that we didn't have, the one thing that stays constant is right and wrong, and we know the difference between them.
That's a good point. But the missing piece is the kids may know the difference between right and wrong. They don't understand how big an impact that wrong is now. Because again, when we were younger and you said there slapped the dude, it may have been left at ooh. Now you done did it on video, it's assault. It was assault then, but it's totally different now, because why? It's on video in the world. Right. So it's the, it's wrong. It's wrong cheating on tests. It's wrong skip school. It's just the impact is totally different now, because we live in the most sensitive society on how things are, especially how things are handled, man. And with bully laws, with just enforcement, because again, schools It was with a time, your teacher might could grab you by your shirt and say something to you because your mama said, hey, I can't handle him. And teacher might kind of, boy, you need to straighten up your mom or your coach. Man, you can't do no shit like that now. So things have changed. And so the impact of the wrong is much, much greater now. And the recovery from the impact is tougher too, right? Because again, you might have got, some little running you might have to do at practice. You might have got some in-school suspension. You might get your ass kicked out of school now, right? You may get your ass arrested. You may get your ass locked up. I'm just saying the impact of the wrong is much, much stronger. Because like I said, again, I think you got a valid point. Knowing it, it's just like, man, you gonna do this because of that? And you see so many parents, oh man, they were back and forth texting each other. She sent him a picture, but she's 15 and he's 17. Well, he never 11th grade, she in 9th grade. Well, that we did that. Me and his dad, and we dated it. It's different now. It's statutory rape. He's sending this picture of it's private, and hey, we got charges going, and it's digital. It can't go away, right? So we can't just lie about this. The impact is what? Greater. And because she sent you a picture, she younger than you. She ain't supposed to, but the impact of her wrong is not the same as yours, right? And that's the thing we got to sit here and talk to these young folks about, right? Because when we sit here and just every time we see something piss us off, and we got to sit here and do these kind of things, we always gonna have these problems, man. We always gonna have these problems. I'm being honest with you with that. Real quick, Slick said, but look how men hit low with women first.
That was when we talking about hitting low but holding below the belt.
Yeah, we can't talk about them punk ass boys. We ain't gonna get into that because they think social media is real life. A lot of people do. Grown ass folks do. And that's the thing about you gotta be very, very careful. Because one thing about it, once you hit sin, shit.
It's gone.
If you delete it,
it's still there.
Footprint. And so you just can't change it because like I know people screenshot, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. So you just got to be very, very mindful for that, So with that said, we were talking about when is it okay for men to handle disputes in public. I want to give you guys a few things that I think that should help you in how men should handle disputes, right? This is just the pooch framework. I think you guys need to think about first when you want to handle disputes. First thing, like I said before, take it offline. Take it offline first. Call them, text them, meet them. Not everything deserves an audience, y'all. I mean, I don't give a damn if everybody heard it and I look like a punk or whatever. Look, let me try to take it offline first. Want to call them, text them, reach out to them. We're talking about how to handle disputes, right? The second one, guys, and this is very, very important, brother, try to control the narrative. You want to, silence is power. Me back and forth with you, jabbing like a little damn punk, you got control because I'm reactive to everything you initiate, right? You got to be strategic and not have emotion reaction. I mean, when you're strategic, you thinking, man, I ain't getting in that back and forth. People that know me. When things have happened over the past years, they've seen when people did stuff about me, said stuff in public. I'm seeing proof. It's happened several times over years. Nah, we ain't responding to that. I ain't doing that. That may put you a little bad.
Right.
That happened several times. People know me like, nah, I ain't getting into that. Folks post on my stuff. I ain't getting into that. I ain't ever with you no more.
Right.
Anybody know me like, nah, that ain't me. Well, this, that, and that, and all that kind of stuff. Somebody close to me did shit like that to me last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that because that now I ain't got no control. You control everything. No. And so you have to be able to take, remember, strategic reaction instead of emotional response. Just think about it. Just be able to think with that. Third thing is you got to think about your legacy, not your ego, right? How is that going to make you look in the big picture, right? Young people copy your behavior. So I got to be very, very mindful of that. I got a lot of people that look up to me. And even with, even social media following, I got a lot of people that give a lot of blind influence. So Deonte Burden, Mr. Short Dollar say some shit. It's right without them looking for it, without them researching everything. I want people to think, but I will say I work hard for people to trust me. I work hard for that reputation, and I'm not going to tarnish it trying to sit here and just to get some likes or clicks or make me look tough or whatever. So you got to be thinking big picture wise. If this something that's gonna damage my name or damage my image, now
Right.
it might damage my feelings because I didn't respond emotionally. Like I want to fight, I want to do this, that, and that. But in big picture wise, you want people looking like, hey, that's a man. That's a man.
Mm-hmm.
Big picture wise, right? So you just got to think that way. You got to understand influence, like I just said. People watch how you move. Folk copy your behavior. You got to kind of just look at that. When you are a leader, a father, business owner, everything looked at in a certain way. So you got
Mm-hmm.
to be very, very, very careful of that. Be very careful of that, guys. And I can't stress that to you enough. You don't want to put things happen, but you don't want to put yourself in a position you got to stand in front of people. Man, I apologize how I handled this. I apologize like that, and I made mistakes. Shit happens, but let's try not to
Mm-hmm.
have it happen, right? We want to try to avoid those situations. And lastly, guys, pick your battles. Every disrespect doesn't need a response.
Mm-hmm.
Some things ain't worth it. Some things ain't worth it. I talk about that time when I was over there at that Dollar General over there in Riverdale, man. I'm over there, and dude, his ragged ass truck, I won't hit my car.
Right.
And
Right.
he calling me mother, this, that, and that. My ignorant ass rolled my window down. Hey, man, I ain't, my bad, man. I shouldn't have rolled my window down. Should have let him cuss. His shit
Mm-hmm.
about to fall apart. I mean, he chitty, bang, banging. I'm clean. Finna go to my Riverdale office and pick up a damn $3,000 or $5,000 check. My stupid ass want to roll my window down because I ain't like what he said. Now we
Right.
don't move back and forth. Now, like I said, his shit about to fall apart. I'm gonna go get some money. We probably one or two exchanges away from anything could have happened. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
so at the end of the day, like if that man would have shot me or hurt me or someone have, everybody gonna say, well, what the hell Poochie doing arguing with that man out there? That's
Right.
not me thinking I'm above that person, but I'm what? I'm above that situation. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? And you be
Yeah.
mindful of that, man. Look, I got money to make. I got a life to live, and I live a great
Mm-hmm.
life. I ain't got
Mm.
time for that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? So me sitting there going back and forth with somebody, I ain't got time for that. Let them be. Let them be.
Mm.
Poochie cool. And I think when you get to that point, you'll think and move a whole lot differently. Slick said, "Who has the most to lose?" And
Mm.
that's the thing about it. And you know what? They may have a lot to lose. They may have more to lose than me. They might not give a.
Right. Right.
That's the thing about it. That's the thing about it. That's the thing about it.
Yeah.
They may not.
I have one.
But think about what I just said though. They
Yeah.
may have more to lose than me, but they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. They
I
don't
do.
care.
I do.
And that's one of those situations that I dealt with a while back, a long time ago. Having a bad day, trying to get a tire changed, and the guy wanted to charge me $20 just to run the tire through the water to see if it had a nail in it, to see if it was leaking. And I got very upset because I felt like he was trying to rip me off. And anybody knows me knows that I am a card carrying member of the concealed weapons club. And luckily for me, not him, for me, Slick grabbed my gun and said, no, don't go in there. Because he was just jabbing, 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 jabbing. And I'm like, dude, I'm doing what you said. I'm trying to talk to him. So I understand that this is a tire shop, but all you did was roll the tire in the water to see if it had a leak. No, I'll give you $10, but I don't think I should have to pay you $20 or $30 to roll the tire. This is a high performance shop. You don't like that fucking shit. Blah blah blah. And I'm just starting to boil, and I'm just getting madder and madder and madder and madder. And my gun is coming out the holster. And then Slick says, "No, man, don't do it," because I'm upset. Like I'm trying to negotiate, I'm trying to talk to you, but luckily she pulled me back because I probably would have shot him. And
And explain how the hell this brother then turned around, got his ass in jail for arguing with somebody about a $10 difference on the dang tie.
right, right,
And that's the kind of thing where we got to look at with that,
right.
just doing it. But I'm gonna tell you where you went wrong at, lab. I'm tell you where you went wrong. And this is done just something for everybody to think about. Once we done, I just said about in that parking lot. Once you done got to that second interaction, you know if you're dealing with somebody
Mhm.
ignorant or not. I went to the
Right,
tag
right.
office, one of your cousins. I told her, listen, I had this already. You need this, you need that, but ma'am, I got this. You don't need this. At that point, I can't talk to her ignorant ass.
Right, right.
So who has thought now? I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation with an unintelligent person. So that's
Mhm.
my stupid ass, right? We
Right.
can't try to sit here and have logical conversation with people that's illogical, right?
Mhm.
And even though it may rub you the wrong way, we can't. And that's why I keep talking about, I'm saying about thinking. You try to sit here and explain somebody, again, that ain't talking about nobody, that ain't saying you better than somebody, but somebody stupid here, they stupid as hell.
Right,
And
right.
me trying to talk to you or call you a name, you still gonna be stupid. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Damn feelings and all that. When you know that person, you cannot have a logical conversation. Why are you trying to?
Mhm.
Sir, ma'am, this same thing with the police. At the end of the day, this not tripping, but it's true. They need a GED and pass a psych test. I know it's a lot more
Mhm.
training, convey this, that, and that. But you got to stop sitting here trying to have a conversation with a police officer, and you might be a gazillion times more intellectual than they are. If
Mhm.
they're not going to talk with you about the situation, get your damn ticket, get the fuck on, take care of that stuff another day, right?
Right.
We have to be very, very mindful of the situation we put ourselves in, right? You sit here and talk to a person like, look, man, this dude ain't getting it. Why am I gonna keep talking to you? I'm not gonna
Mhm.
disrespect you. I'm not gonna put myself in a bad situation. All right, cool. Next day, I go to another person. I go call speaker supervisor. Supervisor ignorant. Everybody got somebody that I can go to another office. I get it
Mhm.
resolved. But I know I can't do it with this person. So before
Mhm.
I get elevated or before things go left, gone. I got,
Mhm.
I got, I gotta have my time focused on making my damn money. I ain't
Right.
got time to be sitting here trying to win an argument at his booth. I'm just saying,
Mhm.
and again, the way I think is the way I think. I don't try to get people to,
Right.
hey, whatever. But I am saying that at the end of the day, look, how much weight we gonna give to a situation? How much
Mhm.
weight we gonna give to a situation? You get what I'm saying? We have to be very.
Mhm.
It's less about winning the situation, but about what? More protecting us.
Mm. Right. Right.
More about protecting us. What's going on, Coach? Coach said, you also never know what the person has gone through that day. Got fired, wife left, car broke down. Sometimes people just snap. Absolutely. So with that said, going back again, protecting yourself.
Mhm.
Because I'm gonna say this too, and I'm gonna be real with everything. I've been through shit just like anybody else. Ain't no excuse for me going off on lab because I done had a bad day. But at the
Right.
end of the day, on the other side of it is Lab got to make a decision if he gonna sit here and keep going back and forth with me, regardless. Cause it ain't Lab obligation to know if I had a
Mhm.
bad day. Because at the end of what I just said before, we want to be people that respect each other, deal with just interact and deal. Hey, because at the end of the day, you ain't got to be my friend or something when I go interact with you. Appreciate that, coach. You just need to do your job. And when that's the thing about it. A person going there at work and everything, they give you a response, sir, I can't help you, this, that, and that. Well, why you didn't white? Man, the person is doing their job. I ain't got to go insulting them and this, that, and that. They also don't have to be sitting there going off and go extra with me, right? We just got to
Right.
respect each other and keep it moving. Are you always gonna be privy to that? No, hell no. Hell no. Once you step your foot out your door, you know what the hell you're gonna run across. But we have to protect ourselves individually when we know things are going a certain direction. That's why I said when I know, like, okay, the dude, this is how I perform, what they go, this, that, and that,
Mhm.
let me go. Because like I said, you one or two reactions, one of them talking about damn shooting some damn body.
Right. Right. Right.
So I can't talk to that dude. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, it can be, hell, I've been through a divorce, you've been through a divorce, you sitting there, this somebody you actually had conversations with. Now you're like, I can't
Mhm.
talk to them. And then they go low, you go low.
Go
They go
lower.
lowest, and you like,
Oh,
whoa,
I'm in the mud.
yeah, you get that low. So it's just like I said, if we focus more on protecting ourselves and moving that way, and encourage our kids to think. And if something happens and you got to think about it twice, don't do it. Do not do it. Okay.
Mm.
I hope that information helped you guys out tonight, man. I hope it was a pretty good conversation. I'm glad everybody tuned in and stuff like that. Want my brother DJ Lab to get much better and
Yeah,
everything and stuff like that.
I'm
And I
working
feel
on it.
good knowing my show is the only one he came in and participated. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you prevent your death there, avoid the period. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, brother. I'm gonna get with you about everything. I know you sent me the text about your show, brother. I'm gonna reach out to you. It's kind of hard for me to text this time of year and there with tax season, but I'm gonna reach out to you, brother. But I got you covered on everything. Congratulations with that. But yeah, man, if you got to think twice, just don't do it because our intuition, um, it can keep us from certain opportunities and keep us from certain things, but most times it's there to protect yourself. So if you know you got them situations like that by thinking twice, just don't do it. Just don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, Trevi. I appreciate it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. This flu thing ain't no joke, man. Whew, it
My
punched
brother,
me in the stomach. It
my
punched me in
brother,
the stomach on Saturday.
my brother even suggested, hey man, we can social distance. No hell, shit, I can't get shit. Yeah. But I appreciate the idea, man. But look, everyone been a great conversation. Remember, go to my other YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, where we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. We got a lot of great information that's on there as well, along with all the conversation we got on here. So definitely make sure you subscribe to both channels. Let me put the link to Mr. Short Dollar. I've been did a couple times with Changing Lives. So if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. And spread the word, man. We got a lot of great information, a lot of stuff that people talk about, but they're not really mindful of it. Because this conversation tonight was really needed, man, because just with everybody interacting, you let you know how everybody got different perspectives and different opinions on the whole situation. We're doing it. You know me, where I do it. I don't have the conversation from the perspective of my way right and your way wrong or your way stupid and everything. Everybody entitled to think how they want to think. But you got to be able to live with the consequences with the way you think and the way you move. If you can do that, you're cool. If you can do that, you're cool. And I think most people, hell yeah. And consequences ain't always something negative on you, but you have to be able to move with it. But you can't do no punk shit. Well, I ain't think that was this, that, nah. Well, I ain't mean to do this, that, and that. I ain't mean to cuss my supervisor out. I had this. No, great shoot. Yes, indeed. All right. Hey, boy, I told you, boy. I've seen too many times on Facebook, boy. These women, boy, they post them STD results. They post them compromising sex videos they got with you where they done stuck their finger somewhere. Well, man, they ain't supposed to be. I done seen stuff like, wow. You know
then what you do? Then
hey, you can't come back from that one, boy. Not the finger right there, buddy. What it say? Pop. Go the weasel go pop.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Boy. Hey, look, everybody. Look, we had a blast tonight, man. I love you all. Appreciate y'all. Be safe out there. Have a great weekend. And make sure you tune in next week to Mr. Short Dollar. Yeah, this is the last show for the month. So, man, thank y'all so much. Had a fantastic February. Love you all. Be safe. And I'll talk with you soon. Hey, appreciate everything, Lab, man.
Appreciate you. Talk to you later.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate everything, Reed.